Alrighty, everybody, let's talk weather. Hi there, Carson Meredith with you from the Wave Now Studios. It is 6:50 p.m. on this Saturday, August 16th. How are you doing? Hope you've had a good day so far. Hope you've been able to stay cool. That's obviously point number one in our weather chat tonight. But we still have some rain chance to talk about, including downpours this evening, and also some rain and thunder tomorrow morning. Yeah, not everybody sees it, but we'll talk about it. And then, of course, we'll talk more about the heat. And then, obviously, I'm sure a lot of you have questions about Erin. Another unbelievable rapid intensification of a hurricane took place earlier today. We'll tell you where Erin is now and where she's heading next. Spoiler alert, thankfully, not an issue for the U.S., at least with landfall, and we can be thankful for that. Let me get you to radar to start things off tonight. The SkyTrack camera behind me, by the way, is the fairgrounds. First weekend of the state fair, so it's been a toasty one for sure. And by and large, radar's been pretty calm today, as expected. There was only about a 10, maybe 15% downpour chance, and that's basically what's happened so far. I will zoom in on the city. Nothing right now, but there were a few downpours in the south end. There you see, boom, right there near Valley Station about 5 o'clock this evening. But most of us have been dry, and it really looks like that trend's going to continue. I'll keep a 10% rain chance just to be on the safe side for another hour, but after 8 o'clock we should be in good shape. So nothing here in the city. If you're going to head out to the fair tonight, should be fine. Let's go to Washington County, Indiana. Hello to our friends up near Salem. Up near Campbellsburg, Indiana. Not Campbellsburg, Kentucky, Indiana. Got one heavy downpour still holding on. And it's really the only show in town at this point. There was a decent little pocket of storms you could see that rolled through central Indiana, close to Muncie, up there near Ball State University. It dove south in that initial storm weekend, but the outflow from that initial storm set off the other storms that you see rolling through Jackson County earlier today, and what's left of that is now in Washington County, up near Campbellsburg. So if you look up an August day in the Ohio Valley in the dictionary, this is it. Hot, humid, with a few afternoon downpours. Now, you do note, way up to our north, let me get a better radar imagery for you. You do note these clusters of storms tonight up near Chicago. In fact, kind of one after another, like trains on a track. Those are diving from northwest to south and east, basically down I-65. Now, the big storyline for the most part today with these clusters is they've been able to get to the I-70 corridor up near Indianapolis, and then they just run out of gas. I expect that trend to continue tonight, as in this evening and overnight, but there is going to be a bigger cluster of storms that develops overnight tonight, basically in eastern Wisconsin, up towards the Great Lakes, up towards Lake Michigan. And that cluster of storms will be pretty healthy in size, and it will likely make it to wave country tomorrow morning. Not severe, let's be clear on that. There was a little worry there might be some severe weather, not as much anymore, but it could mean for some of you a damp start to your Sunday. And even then, not a lot of you guys will see this rain that moves through tomorrow morning. Outside right now, there's that live view from downtown. It looks nice. It just doesn't feel that great. 90's our current temperature. It feels like 94. I guess the humidity could be worse. Dew point of 68. We hit 93 earlier this afternoon. So we just continue to see this heat build and sustain itself. And that'll be the case for another few days. For tonight, we will have more clouds filtering in, especially after 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, as those storms, and what's left of them, make their way closer to us near sunrise tomorrow. And that rain and thunder chance late tonight, really closer to sunrise, is for southern Indiana. So if you live down near E-Town, Bardstown, Campbellsville, you guys won't see anything until maybe midday tomorrow. It's really our friends along the Ohio River and into Indiana that we'll have to keep an eye on for those storm chances tomorrow morning. Let's break it down hour by hour. Again, it's not a big deal, to be honest with you. But you do notice we bump up that rain chance between 6 and 10 a.m. So 6 a.m., 10 a.m., right as we're all waking up to get ready for our Sunday, there might be some raindrops to dodge, especially in Indiana and along the Ohio River. The 20% chance you see for the rest of the day on Sunday, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, that is to account for any pop-up storms that develop along left behind boundaries, outflow boundaries. That's kind of what's happened today. Storm blows up, gusts itself out, leaves behind an outflow boundary, sets off new storms, and the cycle repeats. That chance is there once again tomorrow afternoon. Now, the big question with our forecast Sunday isn't the rain and storm chances, it's the heat. How quickly can we get the clouds to clear out from our morning round of storms to allow our temperatures to climb? And that kind of puts our high temperature, just being totally transparent with you guys, that puts our high temperature tomorrow in a little bit of a tricky spot. Right now we'll go with a high of 95, but you notice our Ironman forecast for those of you that are heading downtown in the morning. And good luck to all the athletes as well. I don't know how y'all do it, but good luck to you. You notice those temperatures aren't too bad, at least early on in the competition. For the swimming and the bike portion, mid-70s, and those temperatures will kind of hold in check as we have those showers move through. And I think here in Louisville for the Ironman itself, we're mainly focused on showers as opposed to thunderstorms, because again, these storms will fade quickly as they move through our area tomorrow morning. So likely just some scattered showers for the swimming and bike portion of the Ironman tomorrow. They'll be able to keep going as long as there's no lightning. And what's left will just be some clearing skies towards the end of the Ironman. And as soon as those clouds clear, that temperature's going way up quick. We may go from 81 at 11 a.m. to 90 or close to it by 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So if you're hoping that this rain and thunder chance in the morning will actually give us a nice reprieve, a nice one-day break from the heat, I wouldn't bank on that at all. It might just delay the onset of our heat on Sunday. All right, let's talk in the comments section. Who's here tonight? Over 200 of you on just the social platforms. We appreciate it. Crispy's here and early, Carson. Yeah, a little early tonight. Hopefully I didn't throw you guys off too much. ZK's here. Hello, hello. Weather Geek, hello. Spent 2 weeks out in the western dry heat. Now back in the oppressive heat. See, I don't know which one would be better for me. The dry heat, as you know, Weather Geek, is, you know, highs in the triple digits every single day, but it's not as humid, so it's always a trade-off. Anita, 37 days till fall. We're getting there. We are getting there, one day at a time. That's right. Reagan, hello. Kelly, hello, up in North Vernon. Let's see. ZK's asking Weather Geek which heat's hotter. It's all relative, right? Jocelyn, how are you? Can't wait for fall. Doing fine. Yeah, I can't wait for fall either. I'm tired of this heat. Crispy, yeah, talking about Hurricane Erin. And again, we're getting there, I promise. In the next 10 minutes, I'll be talking about Erin. So hang tight. But yeah, when I got into work this morning at about 2:15, it had just become a Category 2. And by the time I left, took my break today around 10, it was a Category 5. So in 8 hours, just wild, 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 wild. Thomas says, hi, need some rain and cooler weather. We've got a little rain chances, but not much of a huge cool down anytime soon. Let's see, Patricia's here. Hello, hello. Ann says hi to everybody. Crispy, it's your birthday? I didn't know that. Happy birthday, Crispy. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate you. Hope you've had a good day. Oh, wait. Okay. Never mind. See, now I'm catching up with y'all's conversation. Not me, somebody else. Okay. Well, you know what, Crispy? Happy half birthday, right? Your birthday's in February, 6 months, August, whatever. You can always tell somebody happy birthday even when it's not. All right, here we go with Futurecast. Let's get back to it. This is 7 o'clock in the morning. And you could see what's left of these storms moving into southern Indiana around sunrise. And it's not much. Let's just call it like it is. It's not much. But I still think there is that chance for some thunderstorms to hold on long enough to get into southern Indiana. So it's about a 30% storm chance for our Indiana counties, especially tomorrow morning. If you're concerned about wind, I think the main issue with that would be this outflow boundary. See that? You can tell pretty clearly. It's not very often you can see outflow boundaries this clearly on Futurecast, but right there could be some wind around 30 miles an hour, maybe 40 miles an hour, depending on how quickly it's weakening. So that could give you a quick little gust of wind as these storms are collapsing as they move south. But in general, I think the main focus is just heavy rain and lightning tomorrow morning. So this is 7 a.m. And again, if you live down near the parkways, southern Kentucky, you may not see much of rain at all. Maybe a quick shower. That's it. That's how quickly these storms are going to collapse. Here's 8:30. There you see the showers right over the metro around that time. So again, that's why I'm kind of focusing on the start of the Iron Man for those shower chances. But as we get towards noon, 1 o'clock, there's not much. I think the rain and thunder tomorrow morning is gone by 10 a.m. Just as quickly as it moves in, it's gone. Now, the questions will be through the afternoon, where do those outflow boundaries set up? And how quickly can the clouds clear out? The outflow boundaries decide if we have more pop-up storms Sunday afternoon. The cloud cover and how quickly it clears or doesn't clear will decide our temperatures. Right now, for the rest of the day, we will keep a 20% pop-up chance Sunday afternoon. And I do think these clouds will clear up enough to push us back into the 90s. I've got 95 here in Louisville. I'll be honest with you, I might want to drop that even more. Looking over data this evening, we'll wait and see. But it is going to be a very hot day on Sunday, especially Sunday afternoon, once the clouds clear out, once the rain moves out. We go through the rest of the evening, Sunday, again, 20% pop-up chance, more of your typical summer afternoon tomorrow. Monday, oh boy, it gets worse. 96 on Monday. A lot like today, just 3 degrees hotter. 96, an afternoon high here in the city. There may be a couple of you that try to get to 97 on Monday. And then by Tuesday, oh man, the worst of the heat is Tuesday. Right now, I've got our high temperature in Louisville of 97. Now, you look around the city on Tuesday and you see 99 forecast high in Bardstown, 98 down towards Lebanon, 98 in Hardinsburg, 99 in Jeff. So why are we going a couple degrees cooler right now? Well, there's still a question of maybe some slightly better storm chances Tuesday afternoon. Slightly. Not a ton. But if we get those storms at the right time, that might keep the heat from getting even more insane Tuesday afternoon. So kind of waiting to nail down those details as far as storm chances Tuesday afternoon, but no doubt about it, Tuesday is going to be the hottest day of this heat wave, and it may wind up being the hottest day of the year. So far, the hottest day in Louisville was 97. We had a couple of days back-to-back in late June that hit 97. Could we get to 98? You bet, especially if we stay dry. 99? I'm not going to totally rule it out. I don't see us getting to 100 at this point. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's the story for us at this point, guys. We've got rain and thunder in the morning for a few of you, especially in southern Indiana, from about 6 to 10 a.m. Then it's just a hot Sunday afternoon, it's hot Monday, and it's hot Tuesday. That's the story. Now let's talk about Erin. You want to talk about a buzzsaw of a hurricane? We should be very blessed that this thing is not going to hit land. Category 5, 160 mile per hour sustained winds. And again, this was a Category 2 this morning. It was a tropical storm yesterday morning, 36 hours ago. And now it's a Cat 5 with wind gusts near 200 miles an hour. 195 to be exact. I mean, this is a compact, well-organized beast going through the Atlantic. Look how strongly, well, let me take the drawing out. Look where the eye is, guys. Look how strongly defined it is. I mean, it is just a buzzsaw. You can see the outer bands of Erin are impacting some of the Caribbean islands, including Puerto Rico, mainly with just bands of rain, some gusty winds, close to tropical storm force, 30, 40 miles an hour. But the main thing for these islands and for the east coast of the U.S. later on is going to be rip currents and high waves. We may see those waves in the Carolinas this week around 5, maybe 10 feet. That's going to be the primary concern, and obviously those rip currents too. So if you know anybody that's going to be going on a trip to the Outer Banks, to Myrtle Beach, to Charleston, Hilton Head, Tybee Island, St. Augustine, Daytona, you might want to make sure that they know it's probably not going to be good swimming weather, or swimming conditions, I should say, for the East Coast this week. Here's the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. You still see it's expected to go way away from the U.S., curving back to the north and east by probably by Tuesday. It starts to make that pivot back north and east. It should start to curve north and west tonight. But look how long it stays as a major hurricane. Still a Cat 5 overnight tonight. It may not go back down to a Cat 4 until tomorrow night, which is crazy. And even so, it stays as a major hurricane as it splits the uprights, if you will, between the eastern U.S. and Bermuda on Wednesday. So this is a beast of a storm. The 11th Cat 5 hurricane, by the way, since 2016. I just looked that up right before we started our chat tonight. This is the 11th Category 5 hurricane that we have seen in the Atlantic or the Gulf since 2016. That's significant. Not all those Cat 5s have hit land as Cat 5. Some have, obviously. But it just goes to show you how active the tropics have been over the last decade. And that trend doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. But again, this will not make, thankfully, a direct impact on the U.S., and right now, it doesn't look like a direct landfall over Bermuda, which is good. But if you, like I mentioned, from, let's say, the nation's capital down to the Outer Banks, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Hilton Head, Tybee, St. Augustine, basically the entire Atlantic coast of Florida. If you know anybody that's going to be in that part of the world next week, just make sure they know that the water is going to be rough, very, very rough, if not unswimmable at times next week because of rip currents and high waves. That's going to be the main impact from Erin here in the U.S. There could also be some gusty winds, maybe near tropical storm force in the Outer Banks by Wednesday. But that would be the only area that would see significant wind from this thing. So we are dodging a major bullet from Erin not hitting the U.S. But we are far from over with the hurricane season. There might be some more trouble in the Gulf at the end of August. At least the GFS is big on that idea. The Euro is not. So we'll wait and see on that. But we got a long way to go. All right, here's the 10-day, and then we'll get to some questions before we wrap up our chat tonight. Again, that rain and thunder chance early tomorrow morning, 6 to 10 a.m., mainly southern Indiana and along the Ohio River. And again, I think here in Louisville, it's mainly a shower chance as opposed to a storm chance. but it's only going to delay the heat. It'll still be plenty hot Sunday afternoon, and humid too. 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. Maybe 98 or 99. We'll wait and see. Wednesday, we do have a cold front moving through. That is still on the way. Kind of that swapping effect, if you will. Erin moves higher up in the latitudes. That cold front's able to counteract and move further south and east. That's going to give us those scattered showers and storms by midweek, by Wednesday especially. Sorry, my tie clip was about to fall off. I just noticed it. We get towards Thursday, and that front is far enough south to drop those storm chances and also drop the temperatures. Not a false fall, but upper 80s. We'll take that. We do get back to near 90 next weekend, but there does appear to be a second reinforcing cold front, if you will, that won't have much moisture with it, but could knock us back down into the upper 80s as we head into the final week of August in about 9 or 10 days. So let's hope that trend holds. Even then, I think once we get past Tuesday, the intense heat will be done for a while. I'm not ready to say the intense heat is done for the summer, but I think we are heading in the right direction. So let's get through the next few days and we can get back to normal with those temperatures by the end of next week. All right? All right, I've rambled a lot. I apologize. Let's go to the comments and we'll wrap this thing up. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, Lime Forever on YouTube says hello. When does fall hit? September 22nd is the autumnal equinox. As far as when we're looking at maybe some fall-like temperatures, I mentioned that Monday, the next Monday and next Tuesday, towards the end of the 10-day, it'll feel more comfortable, it appears. Would it necessarily be fall-like? Hard to say, but it looks to be more tolerable. We'll have to wait and see when that fall air actually gets here and is here to stay. DJ King's here up in North Vernon. Hope all's good up there. S. Dell on YouTube says, just enough rain tomorrow to make it sticky. You got that right. Especially as we heat things up tomorrow afternoon once those clouds clear out. If you do see rain in the morning, it is going to feel like a sauna when that sun comes out Sunday afternoon. Beware. I think the humidity could be a lot worse for those of you that do see rain tomorrow. We need rain in Lanesville, Indiana. Yeah, everybody does. A lot of us do. No doubt about that. And I'm afraid we're going to, if we don't get enough rain tomorrow or Wednesday, we're going to have a pretty long stretch of dry weather, guys. It may not be until Labor Day weekend before we get a more substantial rain chance again. So I'm afraid drought conditions are going to get a little worse over the next 10 days. Let's see. Reagan, digging the tie. Thank you. This is an oldie but a goodie. I've had this thing for years. So I appreciate it. Amanda says, hey, from Bardstown. Roger and Brenda watching us. Want some cooler weather on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll get it. Upper 80s to low 90s, but you know what? That's better than mid to upper 90s, right? We'll take what we can get. Is this the last hoorah of 90s this year? Not necessarily. I'm hopeful it's the last hoorah of upper 90s. I'm hopeful. I'm not ready to say it for sure yet, but I'm hopeful. I think we'll still have a couple more days near 90 next weekend, and maybe 1 or 2 90-degree days in September as well. Kellyanne says hello from Germantown. When's Wave Day at the fair? That is Tuesday. Tuesday, we will be in the South Wing. South Wing A, I believe. Not in the South Wing itself, but in the lobby, as you're about to go into the main part of the South Wing. Usual spot. We'll be there. I'll be there early afternoon. We're all... Most, if not all, of the weather teams should be there. I'll have to look at the schedule. I can't remember, but Brian will be out there in the afternoon. Kevin will be out there in the afternoon. Tawana will be there early. I think Ryan is going to try to stop by before he heads into the office. So yeah, stop on by. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to put names to faces Tuesday. And hopefully next year we get a better day, maybe back on a Friday or Saturday. We'll see. But Tuesday this year, we'll be there. Lamar, do you think we're going to have a cold winter? I haven't looked enough at the winter data, to be honest with you. That's more of a be good question. He's still looking at the fall outlook, let alone the summer out or the winter outlook. So we will see. I do think it'll be active again. I do think that. Let's see. Crispy, could we have that first 100-degree day if we don't see storms on Tuesday? It's going to be tough, if I'm being completely honest with you. And the reason why is because a lot of the models have been going too hot recently, if you can believe that. For example, one of the models today had a high of 96, and I'll be honest with you, it's the model I typically use for temperature forecasting. And we only got to 93. And it's been running a little hot as of late. So I'm not totally sold on us getting to 100 if we don't see storms Tuesday, Crispy. Could we get to 98? Yeah. Could we get to 99? Maybe. Especially in the city. Especially in the city. How fitting, the hottest day of the year is wave day at the fair, right? Always seems to be that way. Jeremy, any tropical systems forecasts head towards the Gulf? Not officially, but as I mentioned, the GFS in particular wants to bring in a Gulf system towards Labor Day weekend. It's the only model really that has that idea at this point. The Euro does not. So it's kind of a wait and see game on that. Stay tuned. All right. A few more comments and we'll wrap it up. Patricia says, thanks, of course. It's what we're here for. Austin, what do the dew points look like after Wednesday? They'll be better. Still probably in the 60s, but they won't be upper 60s. It'll feel a little more comfortable. Still humid, but not too bad. Angela's debating on going to the fair on Tuesday, but that close to 100 Teb's making me rethink it. Don't rethink it, Angela. Come on. Come on. We want to see you. We want to see you on Tuesday. You know, you don't have to be out on the midway or out there too long. Get in the south wing where it's nice and comfortable and air conditioned, and stop by and say hey. Stop by and say hey. Braden's got a good question about the heat index the next few days. Tomorrow and Monday will be near or just above 100 with that heat index, maybe in that 102 ballpark for a peak. Tuesday could get closer to 105, could get closer to that heat advisory level. So we may have a heat advisory on Tuesday specifically. But each day, now through Tuesday, 100 to 105 is a good bet with that peak heat index. Not dangerous, but enough to really pay attention to what your body's telling you while you're out and about. Reagan, ready for hot cocoa and sweaters for me and the dogs. I don't blame you. Thank you for the kind words, Jeremy. We appreciate it. So if we do go into a drought, do you think it'll be as bad as the one back in 18 or 19? Can't remember which year. I think that was 19. 19 was terrible. It was an awful drought that year. All right, when I was living in Alabama, first week of October, we had highs at 100 degrees. It was horrible. It was so bad. I don't think it would get to that extreme level, especially if we do have a tropical system that comes in late August, early September. But I do think we will get into a drought, especially if we don't get enough rain tomorrow or on Wednesday. All right, last question. Feels like for Monday, Tracy's asking, excuse me, I say between 100 and 102 will be the worst of the heat index on Monday. All right, that's going to do it for now, guys. Appreciate you tuning in as always. I'll be back on the old school television at 11 tonight. Tune in. Get a power nap. Be back here on Sunrise Sunday morning. And you know the drill. We'll do our weather chat here on Wave Weather Now. Probably back at our normal time, 7:15 tomorrow night. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Stay cool. Grab the umbrella if you're heading out early Sunday morning. And let's just get through these next few days. Get through these next 3 days, and hopefully we can get rid of this intense heat. We're getting closer to fall, guys. One day at a time. One day at a time. All right, that's it for now, guys. See you later.